Hey guys, JF Gamers 1 here, coming to you with a quick video, something to kind of help explain what's going on with the method, because I know that people have had a hard time getting with the method and how everything's supposed to be explained. So what I'm going to do is going to do my best to kind of do like a quick shoot of like what you need to do and how to explain it in a more simpler, easier way to get everything done. So right now, I have pretty much like a few things above me. I'm do both methods. I'm gonna explain them both so you can understand what's going on in each method. That way you don't lose track of what's going on. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. First things first, if you're trying to go ahead and do any type of seeding whatsoever, we're going to do the fast method, is what I like to call it. So to do the fast method of the seeding, step one, you will need what's above me. That beam is what you're going to need to actually hunt out. There is a list of dens in multiple places. I'll put a link below on what den you're probably trying to look for, whether it's a Gmax den or a regular den. But it's mostly going to show the Gmax dens. On CRB, they have like a list of all of them. I can't name them all, but they do have dens that you can search out for. So when you find the den that you want to throw a wishing piece inside the den. It has to be this beam. And if you did not catch, if you throw a wishing piece in the den and the den doesn't show up at all, I highly recommend, if you're fast enough, you don't need to put it in slow mode, but if you need to put it in slow mode, you should, because you're gonna get the option of, hey, for example, let me do this. I'm gonna small myself. Boop. So for example, this den right here, right? I'm gonna throw a wishing piece in this den. It's gonna say if I want to save my adventure so far, right? That den was not a beam. It was not a beam. For a split second I saw it wasn't a beam. So I'm gonna close the game, because that den is not the beam I want. And as long as you catch it before it saves, it will not save it. And when you go into the home screen, it pauses it where it's at. So it will not save the actual beam for it. If it does save by accident, it's perfectly fine. You can literally go ahead and or do another redo it again, and you can get yourself a different beam. So as you can see, I'm back in front of my beam, so it didn't save. That's a good thing, because if I lose my beam, this is my seed beam, so this one is a shiny den right now. So when you get your purple beam, that's the first thing you need to do. Step two is to, doing the fast method, catch whatever inside the beam. So when you catch whatever's inside the beam, this beam, this is going to be the seed beam. So before you even catch anything inside of here, which is a big requirement, you will save right here in front of the den before anything happens. Please save. Mine's already been saved right here, so I'm fine, but everybody else save. And then please go here and make sure that auto saving is off. If you have autosave on, as soon as you catch the Pokemon in that den, that beam will disappear and no longer show up, killing your seed and killing your chances of seeing that den has a shining. So please, no autosave. After you catch this Mon and figure out what it is, I will show an example, but I don't want to go through the entire process of like waiting for the seed. But I know this one's going to be 4 days away, so I don't know what's going to happen. So what you're going to do is we're going to do a little thing called the seed check. And you're going to need the seed check and this nice bad boy above me to help you figure it out. Again, I can put the links to those below. So main thing, what you're going to need for it is you're going to go in here. You're going to keep trying to trade with this bot. The code is going to be 9162, and you have to try to trade with the bot. Letting you know, it takes a good minute. This is like the longest process, trading with this bot. When you trade with this bot, you will go in and keep doing it over and over and over again. And let's say your name pops up. We're going to borrow B. Let's borrow B's. So this is B's seed. We copy it into this actual software here. We're not going to put it into the stats parts or the 1-star part. We're putting it into the list output. As you can see, the list output has hidden abilities, no gender, and these parts you don't need to pay attention to. You really don't, unless you're really trying to go for like anything like that. But we want only show shinies. This is going to be our check. So what we're going to do is we're going to paste our den right here that we got from the seed check, and we're going to generate a list. This is going to generate a list of all the Pokemon in the seed. Like if we do it without the shiny, this is the list of all the Pokemon in that seed of that den. This list is every single day that you will find a Pokemon in this list. Day 0 being the day that you saved on. So currently he's on the one that will give him 4 IVs, 2 second ability, and it's going to be a mild nature. Each one of these stats are going to be generated, but this is what his seed is going to look like. Now, you're probably wondering, how do I get a shiny seed? Where's my shiny seed? You said I cast the beam, it's a shiny seed. Well, that's the next thing. If you go over here and click only show shinies, it's going to only show the first 500 frames equaling days. Mind you, each frame is a day. That's the reason why it says frames, but we always say days. Hit only show shinies and generate the list. Oh, look at that. Within 500 days, right here, 572 days, B will get their shiny. So it'll be a gentle shiny with 4 IVs except for one. It looks like it's special attack and regular attack. So it's gonna be that. And if he wants to go for a certain nature, because the thing about it is when you generate these seeds, the Pokemon that comes out of that den is going to always have these stats. It's stat locked to these. It will never change. It won't be adamant. It won't be anything else. It's going to be what it is here. So, knowing that, they would have to go 572 days out. So, let's say what's 572 days out? So, let's do the date and time thing. I'll put the link below. Please go to the date and time calculator. This helps out a lot so you can know exactly. So let's say if they want to do it today. 582 days. Mind you, it goes from the day that you saved in your game. So if you saved on the 13th, then it's going to be from the 13th till the day of 572 days out of that day. Bam. Look at that. It's going to be on August 2021, the 7th day. That's where his shiny is going to be at. Awesome. But if he wants to generate a different shiny for that day, he would actually need to be going on the 4th. Why? Because, as I can show right here, in the game, when you look into your den, the first 3 dens are always going to be always the same Pokemon. First 3 will always be the same. The 4th one can randomize. So, for example, this is a Roserade. Alright, cool. Don't care about a Roserade. So, the only way to change dates for it to work, you have to invite others into the raid off locals. If you do it online, you can online, but it's faster on local. So, you change the date. Boom. Now it's going to read as a new date. If you know if you did it correctly, this will happen. You get 2,000 watts. If you do it correctly, you always get 2,000 watts. So, that's an apple, a little small apple. So we still want to keep going. So I'm on the 28th. So remember, so if he was on the 4th, then he'll go to the 5th, then he'll be going to the 6th. So technically this will be his 6th. Now we're skipping to the 3rd day. We are now on the day that should be his shiny. And if it worked, it will be guaranteed a shiny. So, let's say, oh, it's going to be a Ferrothorn. This will always change. So, watch. I'm going to go in. The Ferrothorn is going to be shiny. Now I have a shiny Ferrothorn. And then what you would usually do is you would fight the den, and if you just only wanted one thing, you could catch the den and be done. But if you catch the den and you're the host, letting you know right now, you lose any other chances of grinding that den out. Because once you catch your seed den, it's done. Game over. Nothing else. You get that one. But if you want to share it with friends and have them help you catch shinies in the den, what you can do is when you beat the game, when you defeat the den, you close the game. Because since you saved the date on the day before, which I saved it on the 26th, it's always going to be on the 26th. And I can loop that den as much as I like. So without any hassles or like trying to do anything else extra, the den will always be there. So I'm gonna load up and I'm gonna give you an example that, okay, cool, my den is still here and I didn't save. Boom. So I have my den back. As just told you before, the first three are always going to be the same. Roserade. The next one's going to be an apple. Also, if I'm saying names of Pokemon runs, I'm sorry. I'm like doing this in a rush. Alright, now it's a fall form. Now, the next one is going to be a different Pokemon. Oh, it's another Ferrothorn. That's another one. So the thing about it, the fourth day, it random generates. So you have a chance of getting a Ferrothorn. I'm going to reloop it again while I'm talking about it. You have a chance of getting a Ferrothorn. You have a chance of getting an Applin, a chance of getting Rose, a chance of getting like anything from the fourth day. But you always have to reset it 3 days back to do this. I'm going to see if I can get a different Pokemon to show up first to give it a better example. But yeah, if you go back onto the fourth day, you can regenerate it and redo it as many times as you want. Now, there is a choice that you can do here that also helps. So let's say you're doing this loop and you find the Pokemon that you want to just, that one Pokemon. You don't care about any other Pokemon. You care about that one Pokemon and you grind it. All right, cool. If that's the one Pokemon you want, save it on that day. If you generate the Pokemon that you want, and it's like that's the Pokemon you want to just grind out until you get as many shinies as possible, save it on that day. That way, you can have multiple chances. But you need you and a dedicated set of friends that's going to be trustworthy to trade back to you doing the den. So, when I mean get a ragtag team of 3, get a ragtag team of 3 to help you out with your dens. That way you can guarantee that you will get your stuff from it. I mean, you're guaranteed to get your like shiny from it. Like unless you like really like have a bad chance or you try to catch it in like a beast ball. Mostly only for G maxes that's really kind of an issue. Everything else you're pretty much perfectly set to get it. Like you have a 100% catch rate. Now my shiny is it's a Rose. So, and I can run that den. People can catch that shiny. Alright, cool. I killed it. Don't save. Bam. People can loop it multiple times. You can have every shiny in that den as long as you do this method of like just repeating the days over and over. Yeah, it's a little tedious, but you keep doing it. But if I just wanted that Roserade, or I just only wanted that one Pokemon that's a 5-star, I can just save it on that date and I'll be perfectly fine. And that's doing that's me, the seed check method, and using the 1-star generator. Now, the main thing is, if you want to do a seed check, but you don't want to go through this long process of a bot, you don't want to wait in line, you don't want to do all this stuff, well, there's another way you can do it using this trusty handy dandy bot here, the 1-star seed. So with the 1-star seed, you can actually generate your own code. How so? Well, let's move it to the side and look into the information you have here. So if you want to do the 1-star seed method, first thing, you would have to actually follow the instructions for everything bit by bit to get it. And it's a little bit of a long process, but I'm going to explain it to you. So the first thing you need to do, they've updated it to 2.0 so you can actually do a 3 IV or 2 IV Mon in the den, but it's fine. So they want you to do a 3 IV or 2 IV on the 4th frame. Now, when they say 4th frame, they mean the 4th day. So just how I was doing the thing for the 4 days to randomly generate a Pokemon, that's what you're going to be doing for the 4 days. So you're going to go skip those 3 days, go to the 4th day, automatically catch a 3-star Pokemon. I can't stress this enough. If you try to catch a 4 or 5, they're going to have amazing IVs and it's not going to work out. You want a 3-star raid to catch. Once you catch that raid and you get all the information set, you want to go straight here to the Serebii calculator. Doing this on the fly, why not? You would catch the Pokemon, you'll put the information here about the Pokemon. It's always recommended to level them up to 100 because it makes the stats a lot easier to do. So you'll go up to 100, put all their stats in here, put their nature, whatever they have, put the nature of what they have, and then on here, you'll get the IVs of what that Pokemon is. So when you put it here in the stats, that stats will tell you exactly if that Pokemon is good. So you'll put them in here. Let me bring this over to the side so you can see everything. So you would do that. And say you caught your Pokemon, you put the stats in here, right? So I'm just put like a fake one in here. So 31, 31, 31, 13, 24, 31, 31, 2. I'm gonna say it's alert to sound. It has ability 1 and 2, whatever. We'll make it a neutral nature. You know what? Let's just make it timid. Not timid. Bashful. We're just making something up right now, and it's mischievous, right? So let's say you caught him put in this den. If you check the results, it's going to tell you no good if it's not a good one. What no good means is that den could not find that den IVs will not match up properly to get a shiny seed. If it says no good, you have to trash it, and by trashing it, they don't mean like make a new den seed at all. No. What you have to do, go into your den, invite others, go up a day. So again, you'll go in here, go into your settings, scroll down, go up a day to the 27th. Once you do it, quit. Get your 2000 watts, and then save. When you save, it starts up a brand new day, starts up a brand new seed for that den, and it makes that process start over again. So once you do that, then you will go ahead, go 4 days out one more time, and then catch the Pokemon on the 4th day. That's a 2 or 3 IVs, mostly a 3-star. Put the stats in, and then when you get a good here, you'll be good to go. And when you put that good, when you get good to go, it's going to tell you next 3 or 4 IVs. If it says 3 or 4 IVs, do the same thing for the next one. Catch a Pokemon with 3 or 4 IVs. If they're asking for 4, then a 4-star or a 5-star will help. Mostly a 4-star because that is more guaranteed than a 5-star. 5-star will give you probably all good stats but 1. But do a 4-star, 4 or 5-star, catch it right here. And then the next one is the 5th day. Now, when they say 5th day, that means that you want to go one more day skip. So if you initially was on the 26th and you ended on the 29th, you want to go from the 29th to the 30th now. You want to go one more day. Catch that Pokemon, doesn't matter what it is, put its stats in, and then start your search. If you got everything in here right, it was good to go, everything was good, it's going to do like this. It's going to take some time. It does take PC power, mind you. It does take PC power. But if it's good and it gives you a den, it will generate you the entire den like it would naturally with the seed checker. And then, if you go down there, hey, I want to know what my shiny is, and you generate the list, it will generate where the shiny would be like. If you don't see the shiny within the 5,000 frames, that means your shiny is further out. So you will have to go up 6,000, generate, see more starts appearing. You would have to keep going out until you find your shiny. If you find any shiny, I recommend 3,000 and more. I'd scrap the seed because that's too far out. That's literally almost like 3-4 years. If you don't want to go years out, scrap the seed. Don't want to do that. Trust and believe. So let's say you do all this and you get your den seed. It's a few days away. If it's a few days away, I'd highly recommend doing the long process of going to your den, inviting others, changing time and date, going back and everything, because you know where it's at, so you can easily do it. But people want to do a faster mode. I know people like to do a fast way to get there faster, because you can't just change the date straight to where it's at and you'll get there. You can't do that. What you would need to do is you need to find a way to do it to where you kind of do it the long way, which is what I showed earlier, or a faster way. A faster way is using versus mode ranked. Versus mode ranked or link battles, which is located right here. So here's the reason why I say versus mode ranked and not casual. Because in ranked, the time skip glitch apparently automatically activates after you do a ranked battle. Whether you win or lose, the time skip glitch activates. And what that does is, instead of you having to go into the den, invite others and change the date, you now can, all right, cool. Well, I left the ranked battle. When you go down here and you hit date and time and you go up one day and hit OK, that instantly saves the day. That instantly moves that day up, and you don't have to actually do that entire den thing. And when you go back into your game, you could get 2,000 watts instantly. This is mostly used for grinding watts and everything, but it's also an example of how you can use it to get that time up. After that, you literally can just be in your date and time, just go up one day and hit OK, and you can just rapidly go ahead and do it. The only thing you have to be wary about, few things. One, game can crash. So if you're doing that time and date thing and you're like at the 30th day, what I'd recommend, if you go to a new month, like you go from here to March, save your game. You do not want to lose that progress, because let's say if you're going through March and then out of nowhere it crashes. All right, cool. You saved on March 1st. You can go back to March 1st, change your date and time, do another ranked or link battle, be done with it, and then continue your process until you get to your day. Now, the difference between how to do it from a ranked battle and a linked battle, ranked battle, you just got to finish the match. Link battle, the person trying to do the time skip must disconnect first. And by that, I mean either undocking your station if you're online through LAN. I'd recommend if you're on LAN to do that. But if you're on Wi-Fi, you would have to undock it and put it on airplane mode, or just, if you have it in your hand, just be in airplane mode. Once you trigger that, it'll automatically cancel the battle, and it will trigger the time step glitch. The reason why we won't do it in casual anymore is because due to the increased number of that happening in casual, Nintendo has put a punishment policy in there that will punish you if you do it in casual mode. If you do it in casual mode too much, you will not be able to get the prizes or be in certain events that are now in place. So with link battle mode, you're doing it with a friend. It will not affect how the stats are in casual, and it's a more safer way to do it than going into casual, doing it, and then like not being able to compete. So far, there hasn't been any announcements of like people doing it in link battles and having this issue. But again, for now, that's the safest way to do it, so you don't lose any prizes if you're big into battling. If you're not big into battling, do it to your heart's content. But once you've got to your time and date, you make sure you save 4 days before. And by 4 days, my shiny is on the 29th, right? So when I say 4 days before, it's because on your base day, that's technically day 1. That's not day 0, it's day 1. And then we skip day 2, when you skip day 3, and when you skip, that's day 4. So your initial base day is going to be day 1. So when you time skip that one, day 2. When you time skip the next one, day 3. And then when you time skip to the last one, that is your day 4. You need to only skip 3 days in advance. So if your date is on the 1st, 2nd, third, there's your fourth. So you're on that day that you need to be on. You have to skip from the initial day to the next day, to the next day, to your shiny day. And you have to do it either going into the den, inviting others, or doing the time skip glitch. And either way, you will get there and you'll be able to go ahead and get your shiny. Now, main thing about this that you have to know is, if you want a shiny Gmax and you want to lock it in, you have to save it on the shiny date again. And if you save it on the shiny date, that will be locked completely to that date and you cannot do anything else. But if you want to get every shiny in that den, go to the base day, go into it. It'll take a longer process, but you are guaranteed to get whatever shinies in that den, whatever that randomizes. It's going to randomize a certain amount. If you look at the rare dens, it'll only randomize like the 3, the 4, and 5 stars. So look at which ones you want to get and have your friends catch as many as you want them to. Whether it's to give it to other people, give you one, get it situated, you'll be fine. And then once you feel like you've exhausted the den out and you got everything that you needed from the den, catch your Pokemon in the den, and then you can wrap it up. And that's it. That's the den. You're done with the den and you don't have to worry about it anymore. And then you can move on to the next den and look for another den. This will work on every den as long as you put your own wishing piece in the den. If you have the den randomize it, when you skip a day, that den goes away. Because the dens that are locally done all randomize. The dens that are done with your wishing piece stay there permanently. And because there's also been this weird glitch to where if you're near a den and you do a den of a friends and then you finish that den vanishes for some reason. I don't know why, but it does happen. So remember, have wishing pieces, get your purple beam, either do the fast method of catching your beam and putting it in the good old-fashioned seed checker over here. Hey, move out the way. There you go. Putting in the seed checker here, grabbing your seed like this one right here, putting it in your 1 star, and generating your shiny seed. His shiny seed is literally going to be 11 days away. So technically 10, 9, 8 days away. Because he has to go 8 days in advance so he can rotate it out to whatever he wants. So, same thing goes for you. Once you get that, you can loop it to your heart's content. Or you do it the longer way of catching 4th Pokemon in the den, getting a good here, not a no good, a good. Then you can put the rest of the stats in to see what seed you will get. If it's no good, you have to, quote unquote, go into the den, invite others, go 1 day forward, quit, save, and then do it all over again. So, if you have any other questions, comments, and concerns, you can always bring it up to me. I do have a Discord. I will put a link below. I do seed stuff my own. If you need help with seed checking, I will do that. I can do one live with you, and it will help you out in the long run. So, with that being said, my name is Schaefergamers1 signing out. Hopefully this explains it a little bit better. If you still have any questions, just leave them in the comments below and I can go ahead and explain it to you in more detail. And you all have a wonderful day. I will have these linked down below too. Have a wonderful day. Signing out.